Welcome back, boys. I was doing my best to keep it on the daily uploads, which wasn't according to plan. It just made it easier for me to transition back into YouTube for you boys. And the car is over at Fab right now, which I got a video going for you, but as you can imagine, fabrication does take some time, so putting a whole video together is going to take probably a couple days or so. So right now I'm going to use this as a filler. I figured you guys would truly enjoy this, and I never got a chance to showcase one of the cars that we had built in-house. And again, I know I have mentioned this before, but if you are looking to have something built, we do builds in-house still. My email is down below. That is the best way to get in contact with us, is through email. And then we also do offer tuning as well, including e-tuning and obviously our dyno tuning. So let me show you guys what we're gonna be working with today.
You don't have to wait for me. You don't have to wait on me. You don't have to wait for me. You don't have to wait. Go out with your girls and have a party. I'll be
Here we have Luke's 05 Forester XT. This car came to us in pretty much original form, had some basic bolt-on stuff, a little bit of STI mods, and he came in for an FP Green build. And when he left, we talked about an STI drivetrain in the car for what he wanted to do, throw it around in some corners. I thought it was going to be better than the traditional 5-speed and the gear ratio, and then things spiraled to where it is now, which I'm going to open up the hood and show you guys. I'm sure you already know by the thumbnail, but here we are. This was a full build done by us in-house here, turbo kit made by none other than Strayed Fabrication. As you can tell, we have an AMS and an H-cover 6466 next-gen turbocharger and a full Strayed turbo kit on here, featured with ETS V2 header. This thing is an absolute monster. Last time I had this on the dyno, it made upwards of 880 horsepower at the tire, and that was on about 38 pounds of boost, if I recall correctly. Full flex fuel car, Haltech Elite 2500. I'll show you guys the dash inside the car. Has one of our stage 4 long blocks in here. We base it off an Outfront closed deck short block, and then we have built heads with some BC280 camshafts. As you can tell there, this is a front mount kit also built by Strayed Fabrication. We start all of our front mount kits with Garrett cores. So this has a 4-inch Garrett core under there. 3-inch intercooler piping from the turbocharger all the way to the throttle body, which we have an IAG 76mm throttle body, IAG AOS, IAG fuel rails, ID 1700s. It has a radium hanger in it with 2 Walbro 525s in it, and every sensor you could want to have on the car to keep safeties turned on with our Haltech that we have in it. Jumping to the side of this thing, I just want to give you a quick overview. Full STI drivetrain under this thing. It is essentially an 07 STI. Obviously you can see the Brembos there. This has a set of limited Enki, not BBSs, but Enki wheels off of 07 STI. They look like BBSs. We had our boys over at Dark Matter Coating do the intake manifold and do the coating on the wheels. This actually has a really quiet exhaust system. We have some of our relief exhaust valves, which essentially is a 60mm wastegate to relieve the back pressure and retain a really quiet exhaust system. 2019 STI transmission is in here, matching 2019 STI rear diff. We got that from the Parts Pros. Highly recommend them. We use them for all of our parts. Low mileage, very clean unit that we got in here. Obviously 07 STI drive shaft, 07 STI axles, 07 STI Brembos. And then coming on the inside is where things get really nice, guys. So we did a Type RA 15 plus STI steering wheel. Cruise control is still functional off of the steering wheel like factory. Set of 14 STI seats in here with the heated seats. Guys, these are my favorite in the GD, as you can tell from our Hawkeye build we're doing right now. Has the STI shifter trim, just clips right in here. I-doing head unit, and of course, we do have the Haltech dash in here. And I did a custom layout for him. That way you can see it. Once it pops up here, it just takes a second. And there you have it. Really clean and subtle look. This thing is so quiet, guys. I don't know if it comes across on camera, but what we have here is a Boro exhaust. You can see there. And then it has, like I mentioned, the exhaust relief valves underneath, so that way we can maintain having a quiet exhaust. This is something he drives pretty frequently and loves to take up into the canyon. So definitely a really well put together car and really enjoyable to drive. I'm going to load this thing up on the dyno today. The whole point of today, like the title is here, walk you through the basics of doing a standalone tuning if you're looking to add a standalone to your car, and where we start as a tuner with doing so. First thing you start, and this is number one, obviously you got to pick a standalone unit. So what I would do is reach out to the tuner that you want to work with or yourself and do your research and pick which route you want to go. There's obviously multiple different ECU options at this point, a lot with plug and play harnesses, which makes it really easy to go in the car. This one in particular has a Kozmic Motorsports adapter harness to the Elite 2500, and since then, you know, we have Haltech R3 and R5s and S3 and S5s that have come out, but you can pick over to a Haltech option. Obviously Motec, I really love Motec, and you guys have seen the transition over the years to that. It's just because I really enjoy the software, and that is the ECU I tend to prefer. Every tuner will have their own. There's Link as an option, ECU Master, try to think of a couple other ones. I know there's one I'm thinking off the top of my head that I can't think about, but several options when it comes to a standalone ECU. Now when you have a standalone and you're just doing the first initial setup with your car, obviously the basics are setup, injector sealing, map sensor, engine size, set up your fuel table, your ignition table, speed density, and so forth. Like that stuff is very obvious, but one thing that you cannot forget to do is to sync the engine timing to the ECU. Every time, guys. It might be 1 degree off and close enough, just do it. Every single time. That's where we start. I've already obviously done that on this car. I will show you once we get on the laptop what I mean about going through basic settings on it, but I'm going to be getting this thing on the dyno today. You heard me talk about doing this as a build in-house. I'm putting it on the dyno today to adjust some things at peak torque and make it a little bit more tame, because with the 6466, you guys know this thing comes in super hard. And for him having doing some toge runs and up in the canyons, I want to have a couple different modes for him and lighten up the torque when you first come into the throttle and let it be kind of like a more linear Honda power band. So that's what I'm doing today. Gonna throw it on, touch up a couple spots on pump gas, and then move over to E85, and that's where I'll show you guys. Got this thing all on the dyno, as you'll see behind me here. Some of you guys are gonna notice that the dyno shop is actually different. Now I know I've addressed this in a couple of other videos that were not mine, but as you'll see in the background, it is a different shop for the dyno. I moved it over here, so that's why it will look like a different location of how it's laid out. Now that I got this Forester on the dyno ready to go, I'm going to jump on the laptop, walk you guys through some things, like I said, for like initial setup things on the car. All right, I'm all loaded up in the car, got the laptop. I'm going to walk you guys through things. Now, by no means is this going to be walking you through on how to exactly tune your car every step along the way. I'm sure some of you can understand. Obviously, this is my line of work. Some things I'm not going to give out. Some will understand, some will not. That's all right. I'm going to jump in here. We had talked about setting ignition timing, so I'm going to start there by showing you where to go. That's obviously step one after you get the car running, and verifying that your ignition timing is synced from the engine to the computer. Very, very important with a standalone ECU. They can be close, but they can be off, so definitely check this. I will be switching probably back to the GoPros here soon, because it does get kind of hard with switching the camera around with this. All right, so here's our Haltech software here. You're gonna wanna go over to ignition tuning. If you click on it, you'll see here it says lock mode. Obviously it's disabled right now. You go in here and you can put to always on, and you'll set it to the amount that you want to set your ignition timing. Obviously you see there I had it set to 0. That's just what I prefer. So obviously I'll turn that back off. That is step one after the car's running. Now to get the car running, the main things that you're going to be jumping into here, is I'm trying to look over my camera, so don't mind me here. Let me pull down a couple drop down menus here. All right, come over to stage one. This is our injectors. This car has a set of ID 1700, so it's as simple as going in here and selecting your stage one. Sometimes this can be off, guys, for the data. If your VE fuel map, which is your speed density fuel map, looks off, it's because some of these settings are actually off. I've seen it a few times. Here's my VE map here. One thing I will note is that smoothness comes with time, guys. Not everyone starts out being smooth, and when I say smooth, you can see my 3D graph over here. If it'll focus on it, I'm sorry. There we go. So nice and smooth. There we are. That is the initial setup there. As I mentioned, set your injectors up, and then you'd come up here, the sensors. You're going to set your map sensor up. This has a Cobb 4-bar, so this is all set up here for that. This obviously has oil pressure, fuel pressure. I require fuel pressure for every single standalone car I do. So this obviously has a fuel pressure sensor on it here. If we click on actual sensor, see it has a 0 to 150 on it. And then we have an oil pressure sensor. This has that 0 to 150 as well. Obviously your intake temperature, your wideband, so forth. Flex fuel composition, that's going to be our actual flex fuel sensor. That's all set up in here. And then for doing your first initial fire up, guys, you will have to go in here and adjust your cranking. Again, smoothness will come with time. Nice smooth transition there. Just kind of walking through some of these things here. Idle control will be down here, so we'll close out a cam. I was just obviously in there. Come down to idle control. Obviously you have your target RPM. You can see that changes as we are going through coolant temp. Pretty basic stuff there. Your closed loop, so this is what it's demanding out of that driver wire there. So that's all set up. I also have a secondary option down here of AC on and off, and then you'll see I have it on vehicle speed 0 or 10 miles an hour to have a little bit more. And I know the lighting here is a little bit hard, so I'm sorry guys. That shows you kind of the basics there. You know, obviously we have our ignition timing. You'll have to build your own ignition timing map. You know, some of it will be close, but for every setup it will be a little bit different. Nice smooth ignition timing map there. So this is obviously for our pump gas side of things. And then yeah, like I said, we'll just have to adjust obviously some of our cranking enrichment here depending on the setup. And this is actually ignition timing there for cranking. I clicked through so many of these, I got them open now. Let me close a couple out so we can come back up. So back to our cranking, and then we have our corrections in here for fuel composition, coolant temp, air temp, limiter, etc. I know a lot of information to take in there at a quick glance, especially if you're just starting out, but just to kind of walk you through the basics of, you know, what I'm doing as a tuner when I jump into the vehicle. Obviously I'm building a base map before I'm starting the car, but we need to know injectors, map sensor. Those are the two main ones that are going to be within the map. Obviously engine size, but that's going to depend on what vehicle you're working with too as well, and putting that information in here. I guess I could have showed you where you change the ignition timing stuff, but that's pretty straightforward for setting the ignition timing. We kind of went over that. I'm gonna fire this thing up. We're gonna do a pull on pump gas here, make sure everything looks, pump gas looks good. Gonna go ahead and put the ethanol in the car, do a pull. I'll show you guys what it is gonna be at. I don't know if I'm gonna lean on it as hard today to bring it up. That wasn't what our intentions were. Essentially our intentions was I'm going to change the power band on the car, which I can control the power band with boost and ignition timing. So that's what my plan was today. But let me fire this thing up. I've had the fans on it, so it's going to be cold. Let it warm up, and then we'll get going on this thing. That dash never gets old, boys. It's very nice. Really updates the interior. So now that we got the car running here, things I'm watching, you can see up top here. Kind of give you guys a walkthrough. This is what I like for my layout here. We got our RPM here. We got our manifold pressure, coolant temp, ignition timing, flex fuel comp, 18%. Our idle state there, looks like we'll have to adjust that a little bit, being that it's adding and bouncing around. Air fuel, 13.8 right now. Our air fuel correction once it gets to a certain temperature. Intake temp, obviously knock, cam angle, left and right. And then we have down here on the side, fuel pressure, oil pressure, gear, mile per hour. So that just shows the layout of what I'm working with. Now, you can see here we're at 14 AFR. You can see, obviously, this is where we land within that. If I just click P, I can minus a couple percent out of there. Brings our AFR back, as you can tell there. So we'll clean that up. I'll go clean this idle state up, which come down here to engine functions. Go to idle control. And then we'll come down to our closed loop. So we're right here on temperature base and within our idle. So it looks like we're adding quite a bit there. I'm going to just add 5 in, see if it responds. I'll add another 5. Kind of clean this up here, and it'll take a little bit of time. I'm probably going to have to actually adjust the throttle plate itself. Oops. Or we can come down here. And then I'll let it sit here and idle, clean that up. Figured this is another good one to go over that I had looked over. Throttle pedal calibration, definitely important. I'm just going to go ahead and reset this here And we are going to reset the bottom as well for the throttle body. Even though it says good, we're going to calibrate there by clicking calibrate. I'll go through its steps here, which takes a moment. And then the upper one is just as straightforward as this down here. We're going to hit calibrate with our foot off. Then I'm going to floor it, hit calibrate, and that will be it. And our throttle will be calibrated for this car and to the ECU. It's kind of hard to record a pull when I'm in here and watching all over everything on the data side. I'll try to record the next one. So here we are, pump gas, 20 pounds of boost. I know this thing's kind of having a hard time focusing here. You can see I got 20 on the gate. Target was 20. You can see right here we're at 17 pounds, 16 pounds, 17, and then we come up to our target up at 20. We saw 21, pretty much 21, and revved it to 7,700 RPMs. Nice flat AFR line there. Everything looks good. See if I can zoom in here and have it be clear. There we go. 545, 467 torque. On that pole there, you can see in the graph on the torque side of things where obviously boost came up. So I could add some more duty down low to bring boost up to where it's more flat, to level off that torque there. But everything looks good as it should. Obviously, like I mentioned, I had tuned this thing before. 20 pounds on 21 on pump, making that power 545. Spot on for this thing. Looks great. We are on pump 92 fuel right now. Has an AMS on it, by the way. Having the AMS on it, it will make more power at less boost, making the engine more efficient. Truly love my AMS intake manifolds, as you guys already know. So I'm gonna go through here. Not much to clean up, to be honest here. I'm just gonna overlook some stuff because this is our base. I start on pump, and then we go over to the E85 side of things, and then finalize the tune from there. Drivability though, everything looks really good. You know, we're cruising 14.6 to 13.6. This does have camshafts, so that's why you'll see I like to cruise it more around in the like 13.5 to 13.8 region with a camshaft. But this thing's cruising right around 14.0, so looking good. I'm just thinking about cleaning up that one spot there where we're coming into boost. I just might have to hit it with a little bit more wastegate duty there is all, and bring that up. So let me make a change there, and then I'll actually record on the outside for you. I gotta find somewhere in the new shop to set up the camera. So here's my boost control side of things here. So we have our boost control target pressure, which is 20 pounds, right? Then we have our RPM set up here on this axis. I'm adding a little bit down below here, and we're going to blend it up. So 5200 is when it was coming in. So I'm just going to take this, because I already added that 25 down there. Hit V to interpolate, and I'll do one more pull there like that. See how that cleans up that first part of that graph. Might have to hit it a little bit harder, but this should be good. Alright, there we have it, guys. Boost responded. Now you can see that difference there. Now this is 3 graphs laid out here right now. This is our horsepower and torque together. This is torque, and then this is horsepower. I like to separate it when I'm tuning. I'm mainly looking over torque. Now you can see we come up, have a really nice torque line, hold, and inevitably fall. So that is what we want. Made a little bit less, made 539. That's just because we got some heat in it now. Torque obviously came up because I corrected that spot. We are all good to go on pump gas there, boys. Obviously it helps with doing this every single day, day in and day out for the last, I believe, 5 years now. Didn't know exactly where to go, but you guys saw that dip in that graph. That is the difference of having a dyno versus doing street tuning, and we all start out somewhere, right? I started out with street tuning. Having a dyno has really made me a better tuner, taught me a ton, and as you guys can tell there, on the street, you wouldn't have necessarily felt that. Now, I'm sure you're going to feel it come up harder now and just hold flat. This is a much better end result. So I'm going to go in. Actually, I'm going to drain fuel because I'm happy there. Just going to leave it here. Luke mainly drives this thing on E85, so the 540 wheel there on 21 pounds of boost, I'm happy with that. Just gonna leave it there. Yes, I could make more. I could make upwards 600 plus, to be honest with you, if I really wanted to. My wife's car has made 600 wheel on pump gas for more years than I can count at this point, and has never had a problem. But again, doesn't really drive it on pump gas that much, so I'm just gonna leave it here. Car's happy, nice power band, and let's get the good stuff in the car now. Those of you that want to see the data side of things, here's where we added that boost control. So you'll see there, you know, we're coming in 23% on the controller. Then a nice ramp down. We came in here at 21 pounds, and then it laid down to 20 flat out the back. So it looks good. Happy with that. Nice flat AFR line there all the way throughout. 11.1 up top. A little focus here. Again, this is kind of hard for the lighting. So now we can get the fuel out. We got 36% in this thing right now, as you can tell there. So about a quarter tank. Shouldn't be too much there to get this thing drained out. Got this thing hooked up, and we are draining our pump gas out of it right now. Pretty handy piece I've had built for the dyno. Go on the bottom of the regulator, comes over, put it in the container, let it run until the car dies. Ethanol is all in the car. I have to cycle it. Just topped it off right now. So I'll let this thing idle for a moment. Level itself off, see we're on ethanol. Ethanol's on the bottom left. And as you can see there, 79% is what we're at right now. So let this thing idle for a moment, that's good enough. We'll be good. I'll look and see what our boost target is once I get this opened up. There we have it. First pull on E85, 854, 718 torque. Beautiful power band. Taking power all the way out to 8,000 RPMs. Beautiful. Now let's go see if we have any more room. It wasn't necessarily my plan to try to beat the number from last time. It's still got the same gate spring in it, so I mean, inevitably it'll be capped a little bit, but we'll see what we got to play with. Maybe I'll turn it up more, or maybe I'll leave it there. I haven't decided yet. There we are. I'm going to end it out there. 3 different boost levels. 854, 804, 733. Happy with that. Beautiful graph. Everything looks great. Like I said, controlling torque with boost and ignition timing. Also controlling the power band as well. But really nice power band we have there. That's going to wrap it up tonight for this thing. I'm going to get this thing unloaded. Go for a little street cruise tomorrow, show you guys that, and that should wrap up this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed being a little bit more in depth than usual. Definitely takes quite a bit more time, obviously, to walk through this. But there it is, Luke. There is your 850 wheel horsepower Forester XT. Truly love these cars. Obviously, you guys seen me build several over the years, including Rodney, which Rodney is still around and kicking. Same engine. It's been upwards of 1,200 wheel horsepower with that engine that's in it. Same engine that's even in this car. Pretty crazy. These cars are a ton of fun. You know, they're like a mini SUV, and to be able to bolt all the STI drivetrain in them, pretty hard to beat. Really enjoyable cars to drive, really enjoyable to build. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this thing. I know Luke absolutely enjoys this thing, the hell out of it. Even being on its lower power level there, that 733 is an absolute unit. It makes 733 on 29 pounds of boost, boys. So lives long, happy life, not even leaning on it there. Really happy of how this thing has turned out for him over the years. Thank you, Luke, for letting me be a part of this. I consider him not only a customer, but a good friend of mine. So I'll catch you guys up in the morning. It is dark outside right now. Otherwise, I'd go out and do it right now. But I will catch up with you guys in the morning, and we'll go for a quick drive in this thing. I just remembered that I do have 2 tunes tomorrow, so I'm just going to go ahead and do a drive tonight. I do apologize if it's going to be a little bit dark. Just do a quick drive, tip into this thing, show you guys. I do have it turned down on that 700 map there, and we'll see what it looks like and show you guys just a little pull in it. I know Luke won't mind. Normally I don't have to drive cars on the street afterwards. Again, Luke is a good friend of mine, and I'm just gonna go tip into it real quick just to show you guys. I know it's gonna be dark in here, guys, but this thing drives so nice. Just cruise along. Drives like a stock car. Thing rips, boys. Yeah, she's a ripper, boys. Luke's gonna have a blast this thing. That's like always. Well, that's gonna wrap it up, boys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I'll catch you guys in the next video.